So when we came back to Okinawa again, then we made another little landing on a small island next to Okinawa called IE Shima, and the famous war correspondent Ernie Pyle, he was killed there on that.
Was he killed when you were there by the island, or?
Yeah, well, we were there on that beach there for a couple of days there, and then.
Why were you sent there?
Because they wanted to capture that island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a little one right close to Okinawa there, and the logs. I looked over the logs there, and well, I think I showed you some of that stuff, and. According to that, we landed at another island, Ihaya-shima, Iheya, but that's in the logs. But I don't know where I was. I must have been I don't recall it. I don't know how I could have slept through it all. But Ihaya-shima, I know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you go on the island itself?
No,
or stay on the boat the whole time?
Well, we were there to pick up casualties.
Okay. And did you pick up casualties there?
Very few, very few. So then we were ordered around. Then when the fighting went down to the southern end of the island there, we were anchored off of Naha, the capital there, and we took casualty down there at when the heavy fighting there. Yeah.
After Ieshima.
Yeah. Well, the Okinawa campaign started April the 1st, Easter Sunday, April Fool's Day, and it ended towards the end of June. It was almost a 3-month campaign.
So first you went to northern part of Okinawa.
No, the middle part.
The middle part.
Yeah, where all the forces were.
Right, and then you went back to Saipan.
Yeah.
And then Ieshima.
Well, we were back at Okinawa first, and then we went to Ieshima. Ieshima was like maybe a couple hours away from the beach area, so it was very close by.
Do you recall hearing the news that Ernie Pyle was killed?
No, I don't. Not at the time. Well, I don't. There might have been rumors about it, but. Like I said, a lot of that's pretty fuzzy there.
I see.
And where we went from one place to another and anchored here or anchored there, I don't remember all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you go one place to another and then you anchored in a cove, for example, and you were on duty, what kind of things would you be doing? Would you be like ordering people to drop the anchor and things like that? What would you be doing on the bridge?
I had virtually nothing to do. In case something happened to the captain, then I took over.
Otherwise,
but I didn't stand watches. Well, except for at Iwo and the first couple of days at Okinawa, the captain and I alternated. We both stood 6-hour watches, 6 on, 6 off.
So it was pretty easy duty for you then.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I had the easiest job aboard the ship.
How was the food on the ship?
Very good, very good. We had good cooks. We had one guy, his family, Ganella. We picked him up at I don't know. I forgot where we picked. Whether it was in the Philippines or someplace, but they had a bunch of guys that had been. Had to go ashore for hospitalization or they'd done something wrong or whatever, and they were waiting for reassignment, and so this one day we got some new guys aboard the ship. We got this one guy. His name was Ganella, I remember, and his family owned a chain of restaurants in southwestern Michigan, and boy, he could make some real good food.
And where did you pick him up again? What?
I forgot if it was in Manila or if it
Okay.
was in Saipan or someplace there. Yeah. But he'd had contracted some contagious disease, which, and so after he was fully recovered, he was ready to go back on duty. But he'd been aboard a cruiser before that. But so no, our food was real good. Yeah.
So now we're.
So then, by the end of the Okinawa campaign, then which would have been, towards the end of June, I think we went to the Philippines then, and we were in and out of Subic and Lingayen and Manila. I don't think we went back to Leyte, but and then we were tied up. Most of July, just about the whole month of July, we were tied up at a dock in downtown Manila, putting on additional guns, because anti-aircraft guns, because the invasion of Japan. Mainland Japan was scheduled for November the 1st of 1945. So, and we were, we'd seen the plans and everything else. We were supposed to land, not just our ship, but the Army and the Marines in the southern part of Kyushu, in the Kagoshima area. Yeah. So,
So what month is this that you're in Manila then?
All July.
All of July.
All of July, yeah.
Kind of hot and steamy then.
It was hot. Yeah, it was hot. Yeah, but Manila was completely, well, not completely, but hugely destroyed. Because when the Japanese, when the army came in there to retake the Philippines. The Japanese fought block by block, house by house there. And I understand there were 100,000 civilians that died in Manila. But now at the beginning of the war, when the Japanese took the Philippines, MacArthur declared Manila an open city and withdrew all his troops out of there, so there wasn't any fighting to speak of in Manila. But when the Japanese at the end of the war, then it was just the opposite. So the city was wrecked.
So you really, there no chance for liberty there.
Oh, there was, yeah. Oh, yeah. They were able to make do and stuff with things. Unbelievable, yeah. In fact, there was one club that was. I tried to rack my brain. I think it was like the Silver Slipper or something, and they had a band in that place. It was like any American big band. Terrific, yeah. Where they got all their instruments from, I don't know, but boy, they could. And they were gonna put on a concert on our ship there, but the day before they were going to do it, then we had to leave to go someplace. Probably back to Okinawa, I guess. Yeah.
So this is still late July of 45.
Yeah, well, yeah, we were there the whole month of July in Manila. Yeah, and then we were back and forth up to Okinawa there, and in fact, I think one day we were on Liberty there. Oh, when we went back to Okinawa, then that campaign was over, and we were sitting in some place there, and we saw these planes flying north, and somebody said, "Oh, they're I'll bet you anything that's the emissaries going to Japan to sign the." It might have been. I don't know.
But so the bombs had been.
Well, then the first part of August, then I think it was like August the 6th or something. They dropped the first atomic bomb.
And where were you when you heard about that?
I think we were in Okinawa then, back in Okinawa. I think.
And what was the reaction of you and your shipmates?
Well, we didn't know. We didn't see the pictures right away, so.
You just knew that something had happened.
Hey, the B-29s that bombed Japan, they did just as much damage, if not more so. In fact, that one night there, when they dropped all those incendiaries on Tokyo, they claimed almost 100,000 people died.
In fact, more, I think.
Maybe, yeah. You know, there a lot of the flimsy houses made of wood and paper and stuff. My goodness, it just burned like. Yeah. That was like the skipper there one time. He was talking about the bombers. What they dropped these in fire bombs. He couldn't come up with the word incendiary. So then a couple of days later, they dropped the second atomic bomb, and then.
And you're still in the Okinawa area.
Yeah, we were still there then. Yeah, then the news came that Japan had agreed to surrender, and we were in Subic Bay, and as I recall, we went over the officers' club in the afternoon there and hoisted a couple, and I met some guys from the submarines there, and they said, "Oh, come over to our club tonight. We're gonna have a big party there." So went over to the submarine officers' club.
So this is after the
this is
cessation, the day of
the day that they agreed to surrender.
I see.
That, you know, they hadn't signed the papers yet.
Okay, I got
It was in the middle of August sometime.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the next day we had to go up to Okinawa again, and it was a little rough after the night before. So once you got out there and out of Manila Bay there, the ocean swells. Yeah, but after a few hours, it's okay.
So then you.
So then we were up and back and forth Okinawa, and then finally we weren't. I think we were scheduled to. We picked up either troops or equipment or whatever it was, and to go to Wakayama, which is near Osaka, I think. And I think we went in there towards the end of September sometime.
Into Wakayama.
Yeah. So.
And did you land in a port, or did you land at a beach?
We had to. We unloaded from the bow there. There wasn't any dock there to land on. Yeah.
And what city was that? Was it the city of Wakayama?
Yeah, city of Wakayama.
Okay.
Yeah. But it had been I don't know if it was a residential area or what, but it was. It wasn't like a downtown or anything like that. Yeah. And then I think we went.
And you unloaded people and trucks and jeeps and that stuff.
Yeah, whatever. I don't remember.
So it's part of the occupation.
Yeah, part of the occupation force. Yeah, I don't remember if it was infantry or if it was Air Force people that we had. I don't remember.
Okay.
But and then I think we went back to. It had to be the Philippines, and I think we got another load. I think we went one more time to Wakayama, and then from there we went over.
You went to Wakayama twice then.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
if I remember right. And then we went from there to Kyushu, Sasebo, and Nagasaki, and we went ashore there. Nagasaki is where the second bomb had been dropped.
And what date was that about?
I don't remember. It was probably in October.
October. So about 2 months after the after the bomb was dropped.
I would say so. Yeah, yeah. unbelievable destruction. I never saw anything like it anywhere. But well, there was an occasional building, steel structure that was still standing, or the steel was still there, the skeleton, but everything else was just flattened. Trees, everything. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I became sterile there because I never wound up with any kids. That's what they said. The radioactive could cause that.
So did you go into the town at all? Or?
Yeah, walked through the town.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
okay.
in there. Yeah, yeah.
And what were do you remember the smells?
No, we didn't even see any people there.
No smell.
No, not then. No.
Okay, just devastation.
Devastation. Yeah.
Did you see any shadows of people or anything like that? Do you recall?
I don't recall seeing anybody there.
Okay.
Yeah. There must have been some left, but I mean, I don't know where they were. But
who were the people that were there? Just soldiers? Our soldiers?
Yeah, I didn't see even too many of them. But
did you see any prisoner of war, Allied prisoner of war people?
You mean our prisoners?
Yeah.
No, they'd already been repatriated.
Okay.
Yeah. And then then from there we wound up down in Kagoshima, and then let's see. Then we took on some Marines there in Kagoshima, and their job was to, there are a bunch of small islands south of Kyushu there, and their job was to go ashore and destroy any military installations on those islands. And I know one of them was
Tanegashima.
Yeah, Tanegashima, yeah. I think that was the largest island there, but there were some small ones there.
Yakushima is...
maybe, but I can't remember there.
Do you recall the topography of those small islands? Like the one...
They're hilly.
Hilly.
Not very tall mountains, no. Hilly though, yeah. But, and that lasted, well,
so these Marines were already in Kagoshima, you just picked them up and...
Yeah, we were like a dormitory for them. Yeah, because at the end of the day, they came back to the ship. And then the next day, they went ashore again to do whatever they...
Did you see them blow things up?
Huh?
Did you see them blow things up?
No, I don't recall ever seeing anything. But I think I had a picture in one of those things there of the Japanese officer in our wardroom there, the Japanese officers and the Marine officers commanded.
Do you remember anything about Kagoshima? Seeing any scenery there? Recollection?
Oh, well, the town was, after seeing Nagasaki, it was, comparatively untouched there. And I remember there was a volcano back in the city there, but I know that we were supposed to. That was one of the targets there. When we were supposed to land November the 1st in the invasion. And
did you go ashore?
Oh yeah.
In Kagoshima?
Yeah.
Do you recall anything? Seeing anything?
I don't recall much. No.
You never thought in your wildest dreams that your sister would live there someday?
No, never thought of that. No, that was the last thing in my mind. Yeah.
And
I thought if she ever had any ideas along that line, she'd be going to China. So,
yeah, right.
but not Japan.
Right.
Yeah.
So what happened next? Now, now we're very late in 1945.
Yeah, we're late in 45 now. Then I think, like I said, it's a little fuzzy, but we wound up back in Guam, and we had to been there. Yeah, we must have spent Christmas there, I imagined, and I think we had been there almost a month or so, and then finally they had the point system, to be discharged. Of course, they can't let everybody out at one time, so. But I remember them, even though I had quite a bit of sea duty, overseas duty, and I was in almost 4 years. I was single, so that puts you at the bottom of the list. So well, right away, the married guys they went home, and so finally, towards the end of January of '46, now I was getting pretty close to being, had enough points to go home there. And so my dad, he joined the Marine Corps.
When?
After I'd been home.
Oh, okay. So it's early 1946 now. You're still in Guam, and you get enough points.
So I knew he was over in China with the 6th Marine Division.
So when did he join the Marines?
Well, I was home on leave in 1944 from Europe, and after so it had to have been near the end of '44. He was offered a captain's commission in the Marine Corps.
Due to his...
As a language officer.
Because he was fluent in Chinese.
Right. And at that time they didn't, there was a possibility that we would be landing in China prior to landing in Japan. But, it was uncertain so they had people that could speak Chinese, Japanese, whatever. So he went out to... I don't know, I was in the Pacific sometime, but all I know is he went out to Berkeley, I think, the University of California there, and they gave him a refresher course or whatever, Marine indoctrination and whatnot. And then, but he wasn't in, then he was assigned to the 6th Division. They were engaged in the Okinawa campaign, but he wasn't. He hadn't joined the 6th Division by that time. But he was in the 29th Regiment. His regiment, the 29th, they were supposed to go into Chifu, the town where I went to school, and Pearl and Joan. And but just the day before they were supposed to go in there, they heard that the Chinese communists had taken it over, so to avoid any confrontation, they went down to Qingdao, or Tsingtao, Tsingtao. They and the 22nd Regiment. When I was ready to come home, I knew that he was over in China, and I didn't know how long he'd be there, so I got permission to go over and visit him on my way home.
In Tsingtao.
Yeah, wherever. Yeah, that's where they were. Yeah, it's about 200 miles north of Shanghai. So
not too far from Okinawa, really, right?
Yeah, 500 miles, maybe, something like that. So when I was in Guam, and then finally the day came for me to be discharged from my ship. I went ashore there, and I caught a Navy transport plane from Guam to stopped at Okinawa, and then went to Shanghai. And it was Guam is in the tropics, and it was like 95 degrees and stuff in the daytime, and even at nighttime it was fairly warm. But boy, that flight over there, that's the coldest I've ever been in my life.
In the flight?
Yeah, no heater in the plane or anything, and so when we got to we stopped at Okinawa and then to Shanghai, and then I got a small plane from Shanghai up to Qingdao.
And was that a military plane?
Yeah, some kind of a military plane. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So when they got to Qingdao, my father's he was a captain in the Marine Corps, and he and other Marine captains and majors, they were living in this beautiful house overlooking the harbor, and nice, beautiful view. I don't know if some big shot Japanese had it. Well, the Japanese had it, even before the war. They had a certain amount of influence there in Qingdao. I don't know if it was like they had certain conditions that were granted to them. So, so he was in charge of all the liquor for the regiment.
Who was?
My father.
Oh, your father was.
Yeah. So, teetotaling religious person.
Is that why they put him in charge of it?
Well, he had nothing else to do. He wasn't a chaplain. They had chaplains. So I went up in the attic in this house there, and I never saw so much booze in my life.
Did he let you have some?
Yeah, but I had to pay for it.
Oh.
He didn't give me any. No.
Did you tip one with him?
Huh?
Did you have a drink with him?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
How long did you stay in Tsingtao?
I was there about almost a week.
Okay.
Yeah, and then went back to Shanghai, and then they had a
Flew back there.
yeah, flew back to Shanghai, and then they had a ship there out in a U.S. Navy ship out in the it's not a harbor there, the Huangpu River there, yeah. And it was like a receiving station, yeah, a Navy receiving station there. So, and I was there until we got transportation to go back to the States.
So you were a civilian at this point?
No.
You were still.
I was still in the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I was still in the Navy.
I
yeah,
see.
yeah.
Okay.
And so then, I don't know, there maybe a week or 10 days or whatever, there in Shanghai, and then we were sent aboard this this USS Saranac. It was a ocean tanker, oil tanker, and it went nonstop from Shanghai to San Francisco, 10 days.
Empty, I assume, to
Yeah,
reload with oil.
Yeah, empty. Yeah, right. And that me and other people that were going home for the same reason. So
Was there accommodations on the boat?
well, they had a certain number, yeah, but not too many, but a certain number. So I mean, it was going to the States, so they put us on it. So
Okay.
so I think I wrote my mother that I'm leaving to come home on a tanker, and so I guess she must have shown the letter to somebody, and they, oh, a tanker, those are slow. It'll take them weeks to get here. The thing, 10 days, when we got to San Francisco, and they processed us. I think I was only there one day, and right to Chicago there.
Were you pretty excited to be back?
Yeah, it was an anticlimax.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here we were all geared to, we're going to land in Japan, another big invasion or two. I think the latter part of the journey, we were on the Rock Island Railroad coming into Chicago, and that went into LaSalle Street Station. And I took a cab there to, my mother bought a house there on Lawndale, 4244 Lawndale.
So where was Joan and Pearl at this time then? Were they?
Well, they must have been going to Scherz
Scherz
High School, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's such an amazing story. Thanks for taking all the time to tell. It's taken almost a year to
Well,
get our times and schedules together.
so,
And thanks for sharing that. That's going to be a huge value.
but like I said, a lot of that stuff is getting pretty fuzzy there.
Yeah, that's.
And you know, you're in one place there, and so you're in and out. And now Iwa was pretty simple. We were there just 9 days, and you know that was it. Got out, but Okinawa, you're in and out of that place.
Well, I think that like Cindy and Joan and my mom say, you have a phenomenal memory. Your memory's better than mine and everyone else's put together. It's just amazing.
Yeah,
So-
but I remember all the wrong stuff. I don't remember anything that'll make money.
Well, when we sell this film, then we'll give you the